We're first going to talk about a Chrome recording. We're going to do how you can record audio, whether you do it or your students do it. The other tool we're going to be talking about is Thinlinc. And then the last thing, if time permits, we're going to be talking about Mentimeter. So if any of those three tools are of interest to you, as opposed to how to conduct a meeting online with Google Meet, that's your, I would say this is going to be more interesting, but you know, I'm all about the tools as opposed to
right
the thing. I'm going to put
me too, so I'll just stay here.
I'm going to put in the chat I know, Holly. I'm trying. It's going nuts. Thank you, though, for letting me know. There's a link. Oh, I just sent it back to Holly. Sorry, Holly. I didn't mean to do that. Here's a link to the presentation that I'm using for that other one, Kim. So if you want to go to that presentation, you can see what I was talking about at that meeting that's going on now. So let me look at Rochelle's. Where's the second feature? Does only the admin have that? Oh. Okay. You might want to stay here, Kim. It sounds like they're having some troubles.
Okay, yeah, I've had a couple teachers tell me they can't get in on the other one, so I'm staying here.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Thinlinc teachers.
Hi, Stephanie. How are we doing today?
Stephanie.
Let me copy the link here. I'm at a point where I'm trying to decide what I'm doing. Let me invite those people over here. How's that sound? Do you think they'd like that, Kim?
Yes, one is a first grade teacher and one's a transitional kindergarten teacher, but I'm sure they would be fine with it.
Let me give them a quick email, and if you're all okay just hanging out for like 5 minutes past 11, I promise you I'll still give you, I want to get these people in here. It's going to be Belinda and Katie. Are those the only two? And Sarah Linder.
Okay, and maybe Cheryl Jones, she's one that texted me also.
I'm just looking at the original sign-up sheet, so let me see here. I apologize, everybody. Oh no, Sarah Linder is PK. And I don't see Sarah Jones on here at all, so I'm going to ask you to tell me her email address. Can you tell it to me?
Yeah, Cheryl Jones, and that would be Jones C at waynetrace.org.
There you go. I'm going to have them join us, and let her off the hook. Okay, there we go. And then let me invite one more person. I'll have Rochelle come to this meeting if she wants to too. I don't want to. Okay. All right, so like I said, the three things that we're planning on talking about are the, there we go. Gosh darn it. When your finger hits something you're not supposed to. A recording feature. There we go. It's kind of janky, and I might even introduce the other one to you guys. just very quickly. But there's a couple ways that you can record your voice. And the reason I'm going to go over the recording option is because I want you to use it in the main tool that I want to talk about today, which is Thinlinc. And then the last one I might discuss, if we have time, is Mentimeter. And actually, the reason I hesitate on showing you guys Mentimeter is the free version is kind of limited. And actually, Ashley can probably attest to this, and Holly and maybe Lisa, the Nearpod, and actually Stephanie, if she watched the video, Nearpod is much superior to Mentimeter and does the same thing. So, welcome everybody that's joining my meeting. I apologize for the technical difficulties. We know that that happens, so I'm glad that you're here now. Again, I apologize for any inconvenience that happened. Yeah. So the thing I'm going to do is present then here. Let's see. So, and also, before I do that, there is a presentation in there for any of the Wayne Trace people joining us. The presentation that I have in the chat, if you can see it, that is the one that was for what you originally were supposed to be getting at this moment. But I'm going to send you the presentation of what we're doing in here. And that's for everybody because there are a couple links in there for you guys to install some things. So let's get that moved over and done. Okay. We're just rolling today, aren't we? All of this awesome technology stuff. Okay, and I'm sure I look awesome staring at you guys while I'm trying to figure this out. And hopefully you can't see the big old fat cat sitting on my lap. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to share my presentation. And this is called Fun Tools. It could also, I mean, the class could have been called Creating Engaging Moments for Your Students. And I didn't decide which tools I wanted to do until about 2 days ago because there's options. There's so many fun tools out there. So this is the link that you guys can access for Voice Recorder to install it. And actually, it used to be an install, and now it just kind of takes you to that URL. So I believe that if you go up to your Zoom tools, you can ask for access if you don't have the presentation out. So like Lisa, if you can't get that open with your iPad, then I can give you access and you can maybe click on it. We'll see how that works with the iPad. But we're going to go here and I'm going to show you very quickly how easy it is to how to create this recording for you or for the students. Any of these tools, we always have to think from both perspectives. Do I want to have my students using this tool? Are my students allowed to use this tool? Is it a burden for my students to use this tool? But mostly, how can I use this tool to have my students turn something in or be productive in the classroom? But we're going to record something and you guys are going to save something. So what I'll have you do is mute and then you guys can record something, save it because we're going to use it for Thinlinc. So it's going to open up this, and if you don't see what I'm doing, definitely yell at me. But right now you should see a new tab that has a green button that says start. Do not click on that start button. That's the only reason that I don't like to use this for students, because it's simple to use. All I have to do is hit the red button, but it also has this distracting app all the time at the top. So what you're going to do when you mute, you can be doing it while I'm talking here too, because it's that intuitive. You can just hit that record button, and now you can see with the wavelengths that it is recording me right now. I could just do some simple thing. I could be talking about a certain topic. I could be introducing vocabulary words. So I could be recording an audio file for everything that I want to do. And you do have to do that. So if I want 6 different things in my ThingLink, which you'll see in a little bit, I have to have 6 different recordings if I'm talking about 6 different things. So when I'm done, I can hit pause and I can think about, oh, do I want to record some more? If I don't want to record anymore, I'm just going to hit that stop button. And then it's just this easy. Well, I can trim the front and the back. That's about all the editing I can do. This is free and you can record up to, I believe, 15 minutes. Checking my notes there. And then I just hit save and you'll see that it's going to put it down at the bottom of my Chrome browser. I'm on a Macintosh, so it's automatically downloading it to my downloads. So wherever your stuff automatically downloads, that's where it's going to go. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that recording. Anyone have any questions about how to do the recording?
A silly question, but we can record while we're still in Zoom and everybody's going to hear us?
I would mute yourself and then start recording and then save it so you're ready to do the ThingLink. But the thing is, I'm going to have to shut my mouth while you guys record.
Okay, so even though my mute button is hit, that's only muting me in Zoom, not really muting my microphone on my computer.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Bear with me because the teachers are much better at this stuff than I am.
No, you're good. That's why we're here. And I normally don't do the hands-on stuff, so I'm glad that we're testing this out. I could be totally wrong, but let me mute myself. Okay, so even if you're still recording, you're going to get a little bit of me on that. I apologize for that. But all you had to do was hit the red record button and then hit stop and then hit save, and it should have saved it into your downloads. So we have that to access a little bit later. So the next thing, so you watched me. So everybody was cool and was able to do, and you can even do a thumbs up or do your reaction in your Zoom. You can put a thumbs up if you want. But if you need me to show you again, just let me know, and I will help you. So Kim, Cheryl, all you guys still okay? Sarah, Linder? Okay, good, thank you. All right.
Is that the same voice recording tool that you showed last week?
No, I showed you was that Ashley?
Holly, when we learned about Nearpod.
I mentioned 2 of them. The one is no longer working. This is the one that's working of those. So yes, yes, it's the same one that I mentioned last week. The other one that I want to show you because, like I said, that one is super simple. It's right there. Everything is boom, ready for me to hit record and save, but also Twisted Wave. I know some of us have some older students. So if I go to Twisted Wave, I can just use it online. And so if I hit the online version, and you can just watch me, and the reason I don't want you to get too in depth with this, I wanted to use a very quick recording tool with you guys and simple. But right here is the online version of Twisted Wave. If you wanted to do some more elaborate audio files, not just me saying something and you know, not being able to edit it and slice it and that kind of stuff, but all I have to do is hit new and empty file. I could upload an audio file. I could fix the one that I just recorded in the Chrome recorder. But you can see on this one, it's a lot more intense than the Chrome recorder that I showed you. You hit record, it does the same thing, but I also can add effects. I can splice it. I can duplicate. I can, you know, I can do some more advanced things, audio-wise, mono, stereo, put some reverb on it. And I can make it a little bit nicer of a recording. But I didn't want to mess with the learning of this. So it's very simple to learn, but for us to build a quick audio file, Chrome Recorder is the way to do that. So if you want to show your students or tell your students something, it's a great way to quickly say it with the Chrome recorder. As opposed to this, you can get more more fun audio effects, filters, that kind of stuff attached to it. Okay, so everybody's good with that. So Thinlinc, and I have the link up there for you. Some project ideas that you could use this for. One, presentation for yourself. I could create a map, and it's going to have a link to every little thing that I want on it. So let me show you what mine looks like. So here's my Thinlinc that I created. And all I have to do is hover over the button, the link, and it will show me what I have available there. Now, these are just text-wise, so I could have a map or a diagram that I want the students to know the Spanish version of salt and pepper, or bottle, or fruit. But I also can add an image, or I can add text, or I can add audio. Okay, and that's why you guys have the audio. I wanted you to be able to play with Thinlinc and build your own. So I wanted you to have an audio file hanging there just in case. So any kind of demonstration presentation that would be neat to have, like this hotspot pop up, I could show that to the students. And give it to the students, share it with the students very easily. It's just given to them as a link. It's done. You can put it in your Google Classroom. You can embed it into a Google site. You can push it out to them via email or via your learning management system. The thing that I thought was neat was the way that students could respond back. And it's a very simple login for the students. It's using their Google account, so it doesn't require them to do more than that, but you do not have to use it for students. It can just be used for teachers. But just so you know, there's this student-made examples blog that you can go to, so you can be exploring that while I'm talking about Thinlinc and showing you how Thinlinc works. They could do a book report, so they have a picture of the book cover, and then, or they've drawn a picture of the characters or the main points, and then they could put hotspots or points on them, and they can have it pop up a video, have it pop up them talking, or have it pop up them textually explaining what that portion of the book is about. They could do a pamphlet of travel brochure based on a book that they've read. It could be telling a story about a character that they've created or drawn. It could be an interactive timeline that they put the points on. Instead of typing the points or writing the points, they could speak the points. So there's a lot of different things that you do that. And again, the vocabulary poster that I keep bringing up. So if you have them learning vocab words, they could type the word or the definition, or how to explain that vocabulary word based on the image that you've given them or the image that they've created. So really easy to use. You would log in with your Google login. You would upload an image or a video. You can also do 3D or virtual reality. We don't need to get crazy like that. Then you add a point, and then you add information to that point, and then share it. So let's watch me do it, and then you guys can build one as well. So when you go to Thinlinc, you have some different options here on the interface. So you have the welcome, and I'm just going to show you some things first. So if you go to welcome, it has all these projects that have been done by other people. So the 360 classroom tours, how they've used it for remote learning, how students have used it for remote learning. So that's the welcome portion of that. If you click on explore, this gets a little nutty. I didn't have fun with it when I was exploring it, because it's a vast library. But you have all these ways of seeing how other people have created Thinlincs and made them public for others to use or to look at and to share. So you might be able to find something that's already built for you. But the one thing that I want to show you are my students. Or I'm sorry, not my students, my media. Apologize for that. Now, the free version of this, I can do, I've done all of these so far. I can do is, put on points. I can add components. The free version allows you to do all these fun things without paying, which I think is awesome. So I don't think that there's that big of an issue associated with using this and hoping that the paid version was there, because all of the things that I'm going to show you are free, and you can utilize this with your classroom just through the free stuff. So I'm going to just hit create, and they give you the option of uploading an image, uploading a video, all that VR 360 stuff. So I'm just going to say upload an image. And then I'm going to use the same one that I used yesterday with the wine and the apple and the salt and pepper. So it's going to upload it to Thinlinc, and it's going to put it in the editing interface. So all I have to do, well, the first thing I'm going to show you is the settings. There's not really many settings there. You can do tag animation, so you can turn it on so that the tags that you put on there will move about. I've hidden the logo. You can put the logo on there, so the Thinlinc branding, it wouldn't be on there. And then I can upload my audio in here, make your images truly engaging with background audio. So I could have music playing in the background as opposed to the thing that needs a audio file telling about it, so a speaking point. So this would be a background audio song, something of that sort. So the add tag allows me to add text and media, add text, add content from a website, and you can do that via a URL. So you can give it a link, and if it's compatible with Thinlinc, it will put it in that pop-up. If it's a YouTube video, and I'll bring up my YouTube here to maybe get the embed code so I can show you both. I can show you how to put a link in and how to put embed code in. That's what this one would be. So I can put a link or embed code in. And then I can also create a tour. We'll explore those a little bit later, but let's just stick to the basics. And this is the icon that it's chosen. So when I hit add text, it allows me to change the icon. Now this comes in handy if you're wanting to do a 1, 2, 3, 4. You want them to walk through the steps. If you want it to have an icon that represents the thing that you're doing. So if I want to have a minus, a plus, a heart, a movie. So if I'm showing them a movie, I can have that in there as well. Read to them, or a book. So I can click on those and find the exact one that I want. So on here, I'm going to put, and it's just going to be a word. We just chose basic, basic, basic. So I want to move this point over here, and I want the text to be apple. Okay. Add a tag. Whoops. Okay, so let me go back to my cancel. So now we can see when I hover that, it brings up apple, apple, apple. Okay, so that's just text. Now, if I want it to do text and media, I can go in here and change the icon again. If I want, I can give it a title. I can put a description in there. Sorry about spelling. And then if I wanted to have a button, like when it clicks on something, it goes somewhere, I can have it go to a URL. So there's all these things that you can include there. So I'm going to copy and paste that in there. So I have a button that goes to nwet.org. I have a title. I have a description. And then I can put a different title to the button. And then I can also give them an image. So it'll place both of them there as best as it can. And then this is where you would upload that audio. And now the audio is included with it. So I have this wonderful thing that's going to pop up, and hit done, that's going to pop up. When I click on it, I can click here, it'll take me to nwet.org. I have the image, maybe I have something that it's describing or helping me define more with this display. And then I have my audio file here on the side. So, so that's all you have to do to add it in there. So I hit done. So the first one was add a label, just text. So when I hovered over that, the apple showed up. This one is adding text and media, so a multiple content explaining that thing popping up, showing you, and I can move these around if I would go back into the edit of that. And then the last one is add content via a URL or embed code. So if I find this this video here that I like, I'm going to try first to just get the URL. So do it with the URL. So I copy and paste that. And I put the URL right here. And it worked perfectly, okay? But I'm still going to show you the way to do embed code. So I'm going to hit done. I should have moved that before I did anything. There we go. And now I'm going to show you how to do an embed code. So I have the embed code and the content that I want to add, same video. Down in most programs, and this is with like educational tools on other sites, not just YouTube, I can hit the share. And one of the options is embed. Padlets do that. Flipgrids do that. Almost every tool that I teach, Bunsies do that. So if I hit embed, then I can copy that code. It's going to copy all this stuff there. And now I go back to Thinlinc and I just paste the code in there. It does the same thing, but basically the code allows it, and the link in YouTube allows it to be a part of this presentation. So if I click that, it's going to bring up that video, and then the students can play the video right there. Hover, that's just text. Click, this is the one that has the, it has the audio, has the media, has the image, has the interactive link, and that it can pop up. So if I have an image of, maybe I'm teaching Les Miserables and I want to show the students a map of France before the French Revolutionary War. So I could bring up that map and I could have hotspots that the students would hover over or click on that would bring information up. It could be a great anticipatory set. And some of you have already been to my blended learning one. This could be a great flipped option. So if I send this to the students, they interact with it and they're just, you know, interacting with stuff, watching stuff, listening to stuff. And they're just getting introduced to it. So if they get introduced to it, then when they come into my classroom, then face-to-face, then we can do some more intense, rigorous activities associated with that. So any questions with what I did?
All right, maybe I missed it, but how did you, I get what you're doing on adding the tags there, but how did you get the initial pictures of the whatever pictures you want to create? Is that a, can you start from the?
Yes, I can start.
You just went and grabbed that, but where
did I grab that? Okay, so
I mean, how do you make your backdrop template there?
Okay,
of whatever it ends up being.
So what I did last night was I went to that awful, let me show you the share first and then I'll show you. So the share, this is where you can get the share link. I would just share that with my students. I can also have a, what is the thing, a QR code that I can do as well. You can't download it, but yeah, you can share this link with your students. But last night when I was making this, I tried to go to this Explore. Actually, this is where I found the image. But it was so awful looking for free images in here because they do have one that's called free images of their Explore. And then when I went there and then I found the image. Well, I could just go into Google Images and search for a llama because I love a llama. So I go to images and basically I just downloaded that image. So I went to.
So any image that you have downloaded, if I had a picture of Tommy Trojan, I download it, but then do I upload it in ThingLink?
Yeah, as soon as you save it. So I'm going to save this one on my desktop. Then I'm going to go back to ThingLink. Under My Media, actually, I didn't have to go to My Media. I can just hit create and it says upload image.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So then when I go to upload, then I'm going to navigate to my little llama guy and then start adding tags to him. Does anyone else need help locating a picture? Let me get out of this. It was, like I said, it was awful. I'm going to hit the X to get out of my editing. I can still go back and edit that one if I want to. But when I went to Explore, they did have free images. It was labeled on one of them on the bottom. And I went to it and I got lucky after I clicked 4 times. I finally found some images that I could use for this. But I still had to download the image and then upload it to ThingLink. You guys want to play with that for a little bit? Give me a thumbs up if you want to play with it. Okay, good. And if you have any questions, you can chat with me or I can show you some stuff. Are my Wayne Trace friends okay? I'll give you about 3 minutes to play, and if you need more than that, I'll give it to you, but I don't want to hang you out there too long. Okay. And are there any questions about ThingLink and how to build it and how to use it in your classroom?
Tanya, is ThingLink one of the tools that we have on our list? Or did we choose a different one that did the same kind of thing?
It's not one that does anything that's on your list, if that makes sense. So it's not on your list, but it's not on your list because there's another tool that does that.
Okay.
Tanya, this is Ashley. I'm having trouble accessing the Google Docs presentation that you shared.
Okay.
Is there any way after the meeting you can email that to me? I'm interested in seeing some of the student examples.
Most definitely, most definitely.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Did you get your Lowe's delivery?
I did. After 3 weeks, it's finally here.
Well, I'm happy for that. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, so if there are no questions about ThingLink or Twisted Wave or Chrome Recorder, then I will show you briefly Mentimeter, and you guys can play with that one. Like I said, I didn't want to spend much time on Mentimeter because it, I take pride in being able to use any free version very, very well. You know, like I can use that thing for what it was meant to be done and not have any limitations. Whereas the Mentimeter, which is so anyone that's done Nearpod with me, this is a business side version, watered down, very simplified version of Nearpod. Nearpod is by far, use that one and ignore Mentimeter, because Nearpod does all of these things for free, no problems whatsoever. But the reason that I would use Mentimeter is because I want to do a ranking, or I want to do one of the question components that Nearpod doesn't do. And this also could be used more in an administrative perspective or with your peers or your colleagues. So it's a different environment. But by far, Nearpod is the first tool I would use. And these are all teacher presentation tools, so you can use as many of these as you want. So if one week I want to do an anticipatory set with Nearpod or a lesson with Nearpod, I can do next week I can do anticipatory set or a polling option with Mentimeter. The free versus paid, which I couldn't believe it because it's never done this before, is 2 questions free. If you want 3 questions, you have to pay for it. For the paid version, you have courses. The paid version allows you to import, and the paid version allows you advanced presentations. When I'm talking more about the paid than the free, it feels limited to me. So I've given you a link, and I've shared with you mine. So this is the one that I built, and I can show you what that looks like, and then I can also show you what Mentimeter is. So in here, oops, I do have to go in there. So I create something in Mentimeter, and add questions to it. So if I have fun tools, I can go in here, and you can see I've only created 2 questions. And if I add a slide, let me present this. So it's going to ask everybody that's joined my code, and they can go to menti.com, put in that code, which method of teaching is more effective. And then as you guys answer, it would populate this up here. So if any of you joined that code, you could do that. And then after we're done with that, then it moves it to the next one and the next one and so on. So my first one, it shows you like that. So I'm already logged into it. So which method of teaching, this is your view, this is my view. I think a blended model, and then I submit. And so when I go back over here, it's going to show that one person said that the blended model was their favorite. And then refresh. And then they got to wait on me to show the next slide to move on. It's kind of Nearpodish teacher paced like that when you think of it that way. So when I present this one, again, the same code. Which one's my favorite one? So I select, and then I submit, and I can choose my next one. So it's kind of a first, second, third choice. I've done this with tech alignment and opinion polls based on tech alignment, curriculum alignment. That topic obviously isn't fun for kindergartners, first graders, second graders. But basically, when I want to find something out from teachers or a group of people I'm talking with, and collect that data and have the report to show that, this is what I use. So in creating it, all you have to do is hit the add slide, and this is going to look a lot like Nearpod for my friends that did take the Nearpod one, that you just click on the thing that you want and then you edit it. Like for instance, this type answer. So I hit type answer, now it's in there, and I can change it based on all of this criteria here. I can type my question, what I think the answer should be, how many seconds you have to answer it. I can play some music in the background, and then I can add a theme to it. I can also customize it a little bit more based on whatever the free version allows me to do. And if it has a green circle on it, that means it's not free. So that's Mentimeter. If you wanted to explore that a little bit, it's just as simple as if I delete this one and I delete this other one, you can see all the question options back because I'm only allowed to have 2 questions. But if I go over here and say add a slide, I can do multiple choice, a word cloud, open-ended question, image choice. Ranking is the one that I go here for. Scales I can do in Google Forms, and Q&A I can do in a Google group, but it's neater in Mentimeter. So this is the part where I say, oh, I don't like that in Google Groups. I'm going to go to Mentimeter and do that. It doesn't do that in Google Forms. I'm going to go to Mentimeter and do that. It doesn't do it in Mentimeter. I'm going to go to Nearpod. So I kind of jump around because I know these tools and I know the strengths of them and how I can use them with my students. But yeah, this is kind of a neat way to get feedback, a follow-up from a lesson that you've done, get an opinion of something or knowledge of something before as an anticipatory set before you start it. Far as I can tell, you can do a quiz competition and type answer as many times as you want. Content slides you can do as much as you want, and you can't do any of this down here. So that's the tool that I wanted to introduce briefly. And the reason I say briefly is because it doesn't do all the things that that I really want it to do. Okay. All right, so that's us. That's it. Any questions? I'm going to open it up for questions on any of the tools that I've done, or if you say, Tanya, I really need a tool to do this. Do you have a tool that does that, or a suggestion, or can you help me with that? So I'm going to kind of open it up for this last, as long as you want to stay on, I'll sit here and chat with you guys.
When you share a Thinglink, basically you're sharing a single photo with interactive links for the kiddos. Does that just pop up as that single photo, or does it pop up in a website with stuff around it?
One of your options when sharing it is to hide certain things. And when you hit share, there's a button below it that says hide Thinglink interface or hide Thinglink something. So you can choose that where it'll just pop up that Thinglink. If you embed it into a Google site or onto a Google slide, so you can embed things in those, it will just show up that picture. But yes, when you share it, you can say hide Thinglink interface, and then it'll hide it.
I'm just really thinking about the difference between, like if I were to share a Google Slides in my Google Classroom, then they see all of the slides on the side as well, versus if I shared via Nearpod in my Google Classroom, they only see one single slide at a time. And I wondered if it was similar to that.
Yeah, very similar to that. Yeah. So they would only see the thing that you want them to see. And also in your Google slide, only share it for them to view, then they shouldn't see the stuff on the side. They shouldn't, yeah. They shouldn't see the edit version of all those little slides on the side. They might see something on the, no, they should only see the slide on your Google slide. But yeah, Nearpod will only show you what you want to show them at the time. Thinglink will only pop up that thing. It won't show them anything else but the thing that you want to pop up. The only annoying thing it'll have around it is like the Thinglink website interface that just has advertising or something like that. So that's why I always hide it, and then it just shows the image for them.
And then so Thinglink, just like Nearpod, can be placed into their classroom,
Correct.
into their Google. So, okay. So if they're accessing, I mean, because Google Classroom's that nice kind of home base go-to spot. So all of these tools can go into that.
As long as I can get a link, I can put that link as a material, as an assignment, as
Yep.
a whatever.
Yep.
The only difference between Thinglink and Nearpod is Nearpod's going to require them to put the code in.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. So Thinglink, basically they click on it, they interact with it. If it's a resource for an assignment, then they interact with it and then answer the questions with other materials that you have in there. But for the most part, they click on it and they interact.
But if a student was, if I assigned a project for fourth graders and the students, I wanted them to use ThingLink to create it. I'd give them some guidelines, but they would actually go to the ThingLink site.
Yep.
And we could go from there. I don't need to put something in Classroom then.
Nope. No.
Okay.
Well, you could put the ThingLink link and the video
Right.
how to do it all in Classroom, so that they would start in Classroom and then they would move from there.
Okay.
Learn from there, and they would log in with their Google account. Make sure that they do that.
Yep.
It avoids that. Also, we're with your Findlay City, so make sure it's a tool that the students can use.
Yeah.
That's what when Stephanie was talking about something different than that, because we're trying to figure out which tools you guys should be using. Like, we don't want you to be all over the place. This is one that you can use and the students wouldn't know any different, because they would go and they would present. But if they needed to create something, that could be problematic both ways.
Oh,
They would have
okay.
to log into something with their Google account, and also the security issue with data. They may not be able to use it that way.
So right now for us, it's probably more teacher-based. I bet it'll be teacher use than student use, is what you're saying.
Correct. And I'm meeting
Yeah.
with Stephanie and Rich again, so I'm sure she's going to bring that one up. Teachers can use any tools they want at Findlay City, whereas the students, it depends on how that corporation or that publisher has allowed security. I think we talked about ThingLink with your big group once, so I think you guys are probably okay, but I don't want to quote myself.
Yeah, I don't. Okay.
Other questions for me? If my Wayne Trace friends want to give me a tongue lashing, I'm good with that. So if you guys now, or I think through the chat, Rochelle and I figured it out. I think we figured out what went wrong in that meeting. So we apologize for that. And I'll definitely try to make up for that. Try to swap you guys with Roger tomorrow. Unless you guys would rather have Roger, I'm fine with that too. He's going to do the job just as well as I do. So, okay. So that's me. That's it. I am going to document that all of you attended for an hour, and I'll generate a certificate for you for participating in this session. As always, if you have any questions whatsoever, email me anytime. Also, my phone number is on the bottom of those emails, so you can text me if you have any questions. And we'll try to get you moving in the right direction. So if in a month or two you forget how to do something in one of these tools that you've learned from my live PD classes, feel free to shoot me an email and I'll help you out with that, okay?
All right.
All right, well, you guys
Thank
are fine. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.